What's up guys, Mike here, and a few years ago I made a video on NBA scandals where I exposed a few NBA legends. Now the thing is, in this video one of the legends I exposed was Karl Malone, but I only did really a 3-minute segment on him. That segment however has gotten a lot of attention from you guys, and a lot of you have said you want to learn more because, as you are about to see, at one point in time Karl Malone, when he was 20 years old, impregnated a 13-year-old. A 13-year-old. If that were to happen right now, I mean, not only would the man's basketball career be ruined, but he would be thrown in jail. So today we are going to take a deeper look. We are going to expose Karl Malone even more. So guys, that is the topic of today's video. We are exposing one of the NBA's biggest legends, and now let's get into it. Number 3, a dirty player. At 6'9" and 250 pounds, on the court, it cannot be denied that Karl Malone was built like a freight train. Unfortunately, because as you're about to find out, Karl Malone was not a nice person, Malone's physique would only help him to become one of the dirtiest players the NBA has ever seen. And no play was more memorably messed up than when Malone intentionally elbowed Isaiah Thomas in the face and gave him 40 stitches. You can see as Isaiah Thomas drives right past Mark Eden, and as he's going up for a layup, Karl makes zero attempt whatsoever to stop the ball from going in the basket, and instead aims directly for Isaiah Thomas's head, launching with his elbow first and completely dropping Isaiah Thomas to the ground. Even now, Isaiah Thomas still remembers this play, stating, "I think it was the dirtiest play I have experienced in the game of basketball in my life." And the thing is, what made Karl Malone's dirty play even worse was that he had a tendency to make dirty plays look like accidents when they clearly were not. As you can see here, Michael Jordan goes up for an easy shot, but as the ball is headed towards the rim, already Malone drops his elbow right into Michael Jordan's face. And at first glance, I know what some of you are thinking. You might think this was an accident. However, if you look at this play in slow motion, it is very clear what happened here. Karl Malone knew exactly what he was doing. The result of this was that Michael Jordan started bleeding on the court, the trainers had to come out, and the GOAT, yes, I did say GOAT, had to be assisted off of the court. Jordan, of course, would eventually get his revenge in the NBA Finals, which is a lot more important in my opinion and everyone's opinion. But I think we can all agree after watching dirty plays like this that at the end of the day here, Karl Malone just sucks. Number 2, an absent father to say the least. Through his wife Kay, Karl Malone is a father to 4 children who he has taken responsibility for his entire life. As for the other 3 children that Karl Malone has, well, that is a very, very different story. Because when Karl was just 17 years old, he became a father to twins when he got a hometown girl named Benita Ford pregnant. And guess what? Malone never spoke to them, provided absolutely zero support for the young Benita Ford, and even went as far as to publicly state that these were not his children, only finally owning up to the fact that these were his children when a court-ordered paternity test stated that they were his kids, and so Malone was forced to settle out of court here. Crazily enough, in a surprising twist, one of these twins actually ended up becoming WNBA star Cheryl Ford, which does prove that athletically, Karl Malone does have some good genes. But this story actually gets even crazier, because as for the 3rd child that Karl Malone had without his wife Kay, well, this boy was conceived in 1984 by Gloria Bell. Gloria's son would be named Demetrius, and Demetrius would actually be selected in the 2008 NFL draft, again proving that Karl Malone does have some good athletic genes. However, none of that really matters, because when Karl Malone had this child with Gloria Bell, Karl was 20 years old and was a college basketball superstar, while Gloria Bell, guess what age she was? She was 13 years old. 13! That is not only disgusting, that is against the law. He should have been thrown in jail. Now, as you guys know, with NBA stories like this, I do add in my opinions occasionally, but I try to keep it all about the story. This time, however, I just gotta say, you, Karl Malone. It's that simple. I mean, already a 20-year-old getting a 13-year-old pregnant is bad enough, but to make things even worse, again, shockingly, Malone completely denied responsibility for this child, and the only reason that Gloria Bell's family did not press charges is that they needed child support that badly. They simply did not have the resources to take care of the child, but that did not matter to Karl Malone at all. Despite this, despite the fact that Karl Malone was not in jail and could have been, Malone refused to even respond to a lawsuit sent to him in 1986 that only requested he pay $200 a week in child support. This took place when Karl Malone was in the NBA now. He was, of course, making very, very good money, but he refused to pay $200 a week to support his son. And going even further here, Malone refused to pay this amount of money for so long that he forced Gloria Bell's family to take him to court and then fought so hard in court, obviously using better lawyers, that the judge ended up ruling that Malone only had to pay $125 a week in child support, and the rest of this issue was settled out of court. I mean, come on here. Karl Malone was really that petty that he forced this family to take him to court over a $75 a week difference. If something like this were to happen today, if a college athlete got a 13-year-old pregnant, there is no way they would still be playing in the NBA at all. There is no chance anyone would forgive them. Also, keep in mind here, Karl Malone is a man who made over $100 million in his NBA career. However, I guess to be fair here, and I am very much emphasizing I guess here, Karl Malone and Demetrius Bell have ended up reconciling, which is good for Demetrius if he does want a father figure in his life. I'm happy for him. It's just the actions by Karl Malone taken during both of these child situations is just utterly disgusting. And number one, the beef with Kobe Bryant. In 2003, Karl Malone would join forces with Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers, and things would turn personal with Kobe very fast. Now, the two were good friends at first, apparently. However, unsurprisingly, this would change the very next season when Karl Malone was considering retiring, but was still attending some Los Angeles Laker games as he made his decision. And so, on November 24, 2004, as the Lakers were playing the Bucks, Karl Malone and his son were sitting in the front row. Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, was also at the game and noticed that Karl Malone's son looked bored. And so Vanessa decided to call Karl Malone's wife, Kay, on the phone, and during that call, Kay suggested that Vanessa ask Karl if Karl's son could sit with Vanessa to cheer him up a little. That sounds perfectly reasonable and very nice of Vanessa. However, she did not realize that she was dealing with a monster, because when Vanessa reached out to Karl, Karl instead suggested that Vanessa come over to him and give him a hug. Vanessa was taken by surprise, as this was the first time she had talked to Karl without Kobe around, and without Kobe around, you can guess what happened knowing Karl Malone's character. Somehow, Malone decided to shoot his shot despite the fact that both he had a wife and that Vanessa was Kobe's wife. None of that mattered to him. Karl would actually ask Vanessa, quote, "Do you like me?" To which Vanessa replied with, "Only as a friend." Then, feeling some creepy vibes, obviously, Vanessa reminded Malone that he was old enough to be her father. Malone's response was, "Oh, like your daddy?" That is bad enough, but Malone managed to outdo himself, because Karl did end up sending his son to sit with Vanessa in the second half, and that is when things got much, much worse. Because after the game, when Vanessa would go to return Karl's son to him, Malone had put on a cowboy hat and cowboy boots and said, quote, "I'm hunting for young Mexican girls," when Vanessa asked him why he had that outfit on. Vanessa immediately left and let Kobe know what happened, and you can guess the end result of that. Obviously, their friendship was now completely over, and Kobe demanded that Karl stay completely away from his wife. Malone, somehow being oblivious to this situation, told US Today, quote, "Misery loves company. This is a Hollywood soap opera, and I'm not going to be a star in another Bryant soap opera." Then, years later, in 2015, when Malone was over 50 years old, Karl would state in the New York Post that he was still willing to fight Kobe over this situation if Bryant was mad at him. Because of everything we have seen in this video, that should come as absolutely no surprise to anyone watching, because in my opinion, it has become abundantly clear that Karl Malone is a man that no one should really respect at all. And so there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, I just could not believe any of this when I found it out. As I was researching this video, I was just in shock, honestly. Karl Malone is known as one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball, and no one talks about this stuff at all. That is why I made this video. I just thought that we all had the right to know. And with that said, I just feel like the tone of this video doesn't really lead itself to asking for likes or subscriptions. So all I want to say is, if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting me. Man, Karl Malone, you suck. But as for you guys, you're all awesome, and have an awesome day, have an awesome Thanksgiving, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.